I know. I'm a bad host. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Storytime with Uncle John. I am John, of course. And I know it's been forever since I've done an upload. I feel like I'm doing like a Catholic confession. Forgive me, audience, for I have sinned. Anyway, no excuses. Well, there's lots of excuses, but you're probably not going to want to hear most of them. No, I wasn't in jail. No, I wasn't in the hospital. Although my wife came close to putting me in the hospital a few times. But just a lot of things in life that's going kind of sideways. Not necessarily all in a bad way, just busy. So, yeah, I need to get back into this because who wants a dead YouTube channel? So anyway. All right, guys, today we're doing Tales from Tech Support, and the cat's going to flash sunlight all over the room and be mad that I'm in his chair. Anyway, there he goes. Off to mope. All right, let's get to it. The moment I learned paperwork doesn't mean much in the real world. I don't work in tech support, but I thought this could be an interesting little story for you guys. This happened when I was still in school. Our computers had a program on them that would reset all changes made after logout, so we had to save all our work on the school's server. For some of my classmates, this was somehow already impossible to understand, but this is just the background info. The point is that this program needed a license that was paid by the city, and they just paid when the old license ran out. What causes that for a few months of the year? I live in Germany, and as you might know, cities and IT are no friends. Every PC shut down after 20 minutes and deleted all unsaved work. Everyone just accepted this and occasionally lost their work. So I made a simple 3-line PowerShell script that would prevent the PC from shutting down. This was the first time the license ran out. The second time, the school hired a Microsoft-trained data center expert that tried to solve the problem while we were waiting for the new license. My teacher knew that I made this script and told another teacher working with the expert in the second room. In the middle of our lesson, they asked for the guy who made the script because they needed help. I was confused that they needed the help of a student, but okay. So I switched rooms, and this was when I realized that the title, Trained Expert, seems to mean nothing. It went something like this. You're the guy that made the script, right? We can't recreate it. Could you explain it to us? Wait, I shouldn't be the expert in this room, but I'll give it my best. Okay, I'll show you what I made. It's just a loop that breaks the 3-second shutdown that the program starts after 20 minutes by spamming shutdown C every second. The expert says, that's so simple. I wouldn't have thought of this. We want this on a thumb drive and start it on every PC at the beginning of the lesson so that the students don't see the code and have no window with the execution to close by accident. I said, can't you just put it on the reset image on the server? The expert said, that doesn't work. We can't update the images this simply. So I tried something on the PC they were working on, and the moment I opened the PowerShell IDE, the proclaimed expert asked me what PowerShell is, and it took me a second to understand that he wasn't joking. When I tried to execute the script, the test PC blocked execution from external drives. And after some testing, I found out that PowerShell files were blocked by Windows' default security policy, and those machines, but not batch scripts. I wasn't able to change the policy by script, so I told them it would take me a few days to come up with a solution to bypass Windows security and left. The same evening, I had a working script that would create a PowerShell file on the system and execute it, hidden. The script was still not that complicated, but when the expert saw it, he didn't understand anything about it. After this, I understood that an expert on paper can still be incapable of real-world tasks, as I already read many times in this sub. I found on more than one occasion that the word expert really, it should hold some meaning, but it really oftentimes doesn't. I'm not sure where it comes from. I mean, I could call myself a carpentry expert, but I'm really not. I'm a carpenter who's learned over the years how to do certain things, shortcuts, tricks, tips, how to keep up with the latest standards, things like that. But, in all honesty, and I'm still learning to this day, I try to learn something new every day, whether it's about carpentry, family, working on cars, whatever. But sometimes titles just don't hold any weight. So the good news is the expert in this story, the expert, was willing to learn and listen and, go through what you were teaching him. So at least there was some humility there, and that they were really trying to implement something and learn something new. So they get major points for that. Encyclopedia Moronica. R is for reconfiguration. Due to a series of coincidences and random occurrences that run somewhere between a run of incredibly bad luck And a witch has cursed you. I've been on call now for approximately 4 months, while my neighboring region has been effectively unmanned for almost the same duration. I haven't exactly been covering 2 regions constantly, but there have been multiple occasions where I have been asked to leave my area to work in the unmanned adjacent one, including still receiving calls about issues requiring urgent and immediate attention in my own region while I am multiple hours away. This doth not please the technician. On this particular Monday, however, I checked my queue to find only a single, regular, normal job. Yes, technically it was for a piece of equipment that had been down for several days before it was reported to the customer's internal help desk. And yes, that help desk had spent several days investigating via remote connection before escalating it to my help desk, who then sat on it because it was received on a Saturday, until I saw it on Monday morning, so the total time of equipment unavailability was rapidly nearing weeks. I read the job description and immediately there were several likely options for me. Equipment failure, disconnection, accidental or otherwise, software misconfiguration, just to name a few. Some of them fell outside my particular remit, but I would at least be able to investigate and potentially narrow down the fault to determine just whose responsibility it was to rectify it. Drop the spares I might need in the back, insert keys in ignition, rev engine, and race off to the customer site while maintaining 100% compliance with and respect of all speed limits, local laws, and traffic regulations. It was quite literally the worst time of day for traffic, but I persisted nonetheless. It is what they pay me for, after all. Finally, a scant 40 minutes after I first received the job, I was on site. I said, "Hey, manager man, I'm here about the equipment being offline." The man says, "Oh yeah, that's been down for at least a week." Me, "Really? I only just got the job this morning." Man says, "Yeah, I forgot to actually call it into the help desk." "Oh yeah, that'll slow down the process a bit. I'm here now, so let me have a look and I'll see what I can figure out, okay?" The man says, "That sounds good. Boss is around too, I think. Maybe he was having a look at it on Friday." I said, "Okay, I'll let you both know what I find out." So the customer is aware I'm on site and why. Time to earn my pay. Time to put the brain to use and figure out what's going on here. The screen is blank and unresponsive. Cool. It hasn't just gone to sleep and no one knew how to wake it up. This time. Power indicator is out. Pressing the power switch has no effect. Okay, no power to the unit. One step further back the power chain. UPS is turned diagonally in order to fit inside the tiny cupboard. Turn it forward and no power indicator here either. Press the power button, screen comes up for a second but immediately turns off again. In that second, the battery charge indicator showed 0 charge remaining. Boss comes in. "Hey G, any luck?" "I'm making progress, or at least I think I'm making progress." "Man said you looked at it this week. What did you remember?" The boss says, "On Friday it turned on when I pressed the button, but then it would turn off again. Saturday it wouldn't even turn on anymore." That tracks. Let me check something." While we'd been talking, I had visually traced the black cable that snaked from the rear of the cabinet to a hardwired connection point on the wall. Immediately adjacent to that connection was a key and a lock. Me. What are the odds? I twisted the key to the right. Immediately, I heard a small click from the UPS cupboard, followed by a quiet beep. I pressed the power key on the UPS. Immediately, the voltage out indicator showed line voltage was being provided, and the battery charging indicator came on. I hit the power button on the equipment itself. The screen flickered to life at once and began to show the normal startup process. Boss says, "What did you do?" I turned that key about 1/8 of a turn to the right. I'm guessing it got bumped and the UPS kept the equipment online as long as possible. When you tried turning it back on, it only worked until the UPS battery got too low. The boss says, "Well, damn, that's been down for days. How do we stop that from happening again?" I reached out and dropped the key into his hand. "Maybe store this somewhere other than on the lock? It doesn't take much of a turn to hit the off position." Boss says, "Yeah, that'll work." I returned to my vehicle and started to close out paperwork. Time to site, 30 minutes, 2 times 15-minute block. Time on site, 15 minutes, 1 times 15-minute block. Equipment used, none. Return to base, 30 minutes, 2 times 15-minute block. Description: investigative report of offline equipment, discovered UPS not providing power, confirmed UPS battery discharged, confirmed insufficient input voltage to UPS, reconfigured input voltage connection to restore correct voltage, confirmed UPS battery charging, confirmed UPS output voltage correct, confirmed equipment started correctly and online, informed customer of issue and resolution steps, observed successful operation of equipment prior to departing site. That's a whole lot of words to say. I turned it back on at the wall. So many times I have found that the simple solution is actually the real solution. Somebody pulled a plug that they didn't realize, turned off a light switch that somehow is connected to the outlet, connected to their important equipment. They had an electrician in the office working on something and forgot to turn the breaker back on for some section of the building, whatever. Or the ever infamous person that thinks they're turning their computer off by just turning off their monitor, and then when somebody actually turns it off, they had no idea how to actually turn it back on. So there's always that. But yeah, the first rule of any industry, quite honestly, whether it's tech or not, is to look for the simple solutions first. Is there power? The same thing goes for automobile. Is it getting fuel? Is it getting air? Is it getting spark? Things like that. Look for solutions directly related to that, and usually you'll find the issue. Well, I'm retired now. Guess I'll delete everything. A while back, I shared a story about a guy who wanted the admin password so he could install some malware on his work PC. Not too long ago, I had to handle his retirement. So yeah, you guys called that one. Problem is that I'm still handling a lot of tech debt from the previous guy who handled this client's infrastructure. This was a real piece of work. I'm talking 10-year-old server OS that's end of life 3 years prior to me starting there, and nobody will fork out the cash to upgrade it. Busted file system, ACLs from the botched recovery of a ransomware attack several years prior, the client being firmly in the mindset of, it just works, so don't touch it. Just the normal small MSP sysadmin stuff. Anyway, client reaches out to me in a panic one Monday morning. Turns out our favorite idiot retired, and nobody thought to tell me to lock down his PC or make sure he didn't do anything stupid, like delete the entire shared folder. Now, about this system, the backups don't work. I've been sounding the alarm on this for months, and everyone just goes, yeah, that's a problem. We need to bill the client for a new solution. I'll get onto that. Never. Fortunately for this client, a few weeks back, I had made a complete copy of his entire share folder to put onto a different drive, but never finished moving shares across, nor had I deleted these files. He has 3 RAID arrays, but someone in their infinite wisdom thought that the best place to put all company data was on a split partition on the OS array. I hope the guy I replaced got put in an asylum. Fortunately, I was able to recover most of the files for the client, but he tried to blame me for this, which I swiftly 180'd with a dozen emails of me hounding my boss and him about how these backups are busted, and that I needed this and this and this to fix them because your server is woefully out of date, and everyone expects the latest and greatest software to run on decade-old equipment and cost literally nothing. Anyway, I'm looking for a new job. It's only a matter of time before this place gets hit by a ransomware attack, and the client's stubbornness and my boss's eagerness to please is going to result in bust-sized tire marks all over my torso. Quick aside to anyone who's about to comment about how I need to get my manager or my HR involved. This MSP is tiny. I'm signed on to be IT support, but I do everything. I might as well be self-employed. Trust me when I say the answer is to wash my hands clean and move on. Just like people running, modern day software on old antiquated equipment, there's some things you just can't fix. That job is one of them. You got a boss who's set in his ways, you've got a client who's set in their ways, and nobody's willing to fork out money, time, energy, whatever, thinking, brain stuff. So OP's right in this instance. It's probably best that he just, brush up on your resume and move on. Speaking of resumes, has anybody, I don't know if any of you are in this position. I've been in this position for a while. I am self-employed with a couple small things. I've got the soap company, and I've got this YouTube thing, and I sell like wooden furniture, rustic wooden outdoor stuff and all that kind of jazz. And but I was looking for a regular job recently just to kind of, I wasn't nearly busy enough, so I figured I'd go back to getting a regular job so that I could straighten out my taxes a little bit. And I don't know if any of you are in my age bracket and looking for work, but I've sent my resume and applications into a bunch of different places. I'm not exactly looking for, a rocket scientist position here. I'm looking for something within my skill set. It doesn't necessarily have to cover all of my skill sets, but I'm not getting any calls. And I don't know, is it my age? Is it that I'm overqualified and they think I'm only going to stay, a couple months and then leave them hanging, which most places anymore should be prepared for that. People job hop so often. I don't know. What do you think it is? Or is it just the fact that I've been self-employed for a while and they figure that I'm not going to fit in well and blend and listen to instructions? I don't know. I'm assuming a lot, but I think that they're assuming a lot too, and that's why I'm not getting calls. Or maybe they think I'm going to want too much money. I don't know. Leave your comments down below. Dude, you own a print shop. I manage a tech support team for MIS software design for the print industry. It's SaaS, SaaS. I don't know. Somebody give me the acronym like how you would say it instead of just the letters. And hosted in the cloud. So it's been work at home from day one for our entire crew. Pretty nifty. Been doing it for 15 years. They treat me and my crew well, and everyone is a self-starter, so there's very little actual managing for me. Mostly support and training for new customers. Being in the industry, every document we produce is press-ready PDF file. Same tool for everything, including reports, invoices, packing lists, etc., as well as press impositions. This has never been a problem until today when a newish customer who's still in the setup process emailed me directly, not through our ticketing system. Oh well. To reset his user login after multiple fails. It happens. I did it and responded. His response was, "One question. When I put work orders and packing lists, can they output in color? At this time, the documents are coming out as only black and white." When I asked for clarification, since they're color PDFs, and I confirmed that their color logo is there in the results, he responded, "I see PDF in color, but when I print to a color printer, it comes up black and white. Like, I'm happy to support you all day as needed when it comes to setting up and learning how to use our software, but no, I'm not about to go digging through your computer's print settings to find out why that's going down." I sent a polite response to that effect. If you own a print shop, actually, if you own most businesses and you've been using a printer for a while, you should at least know enough about your printers and your settings and things like that to know why you're not getting color prints. You may be sending the job to a color printer, but that doesn't mean you're set to actually print in color. You actually have to go through your settings, which takes about, 30 seconds, to print in color, collate, staple, whatever it is that your fancy machines can do or can't do, and set it up accordingly. All right, guys. Feels good to be back. Hopefully you enjoyed the stories. And do me a favor, click all those little buttons down below so that we can get this thing kicked off again. All right, till the next one, and hopefully it won't be months this time. We'll see you.